Welcome friends. In this first video, in this section, we are going to begin by building our dashboard site again. I'm going to go through a lot of the similar steps we've seen before, but make some little refinements and adjustments along the way to improve things a little bit. So remember, by the end, we'll have a nice site that will, for example, have multiple elements that you can drag, drop, and save between page loads. It's going to have the ability to print, for example, to a PDF or to Google Drive using jQuery. And obviously, you'll be able to connect to the database, operate on the elements, and so on. So I'm going to show you as much as I can, step by step, otherwise it can seem overwhelming. So begin on your C drive, the first place, and just make a folder called dashboard or something like that, okay? Begin with that. So I'm making a folder called dashboard because this is where we're going to store all our files. Begin with that. So click into it, and that first dashboard, as you can see, is empty, and it's on C:dashboard. That's it. Now, next stage is to go into IIS and then actually make the website. So I'm going to do that next. Go into IIS. So crank up Internet Information Services and then right click on Sites and add a new website. And we are going to call here this dashboard like that. For the application pool, you can just leave it as dashboard. That's fine. For the physical path, now you click here and navigate to your folder on the C drive that you called dashboard. And then click OK. That's the physical path. Okay? Location on your hard drive. Next. For the binding down below, leave it as HTTP, IP address, all unassigned is fine. If you expand that node, obviously it's going to give you some additional options. We don't need to mess with that. Just leave it as port 80. And down below, I'm going to type here, for example, dashboard and then .home or something like that, okay? So these are the configurations for the website. Click OK. And make sure that it adds in this panel over here under sites that you see that dashboard. And notice the status says started. That's what you want to see. Okay, so make sure that you have this dashboard site saved and that it's started and ready to go. And notice it tells you the path. C:/dashboard. Okay, I hope you've got that. So the next stage is to now do this. Open up Notepad. All right, right click on Notepad and make sure you run it in administrator mode. So run Notepad in administrator mode. Or open it in some other program in administrator mode so you can save the file. Then go over to File, Open, and then across the top, make sure you navigate again to C:windows/system32/drivers/etc. And down below, in the file filter, expand that and go over to all files. And make sure once you've done that, so again, under text files, you might not see it. You got to go over to all files. And then select the hosts file. All right, then click Open. So make sure you open up the hosts file, and here you can make additional configuration changes. So down below again, I'm going to add the following. We've been here before, nothing new. 127.0.01. And then here type, for example, dashboard.home. All right, and then give this a save. So save it. So this helps to ensure the mapping between the IP address and dashboard.home when we type it into our browser, so everything is resolved correctly. And you may want to read some of these comments, right, that come in this file by default. All right, and just as a note, TCP/IP is basically a way of addressing devices on the internet. Obviously, there's a lot more to that. There are whole books written on TCP/IP. You would have to study that in detail in a separate class. All right, I'm going to save it and then close it. So we began with a folder. We've created a site that maps to that folder. We've created now a mapping between the IP address and our website here. So the last stage is to open up the following. Go into Visual Studio. So type 2017 and then right click and make sure you run this as an administrator. If you don't, the next stage might be very difficult. So run as administrator. Run Visual Studio in administrator mode so that you can look at the websites available under IIS. That's the key step here. Give this a second to come up. And notice that this version of Visual Studio, look across the top, it says they have Microsoft Visual Studio Administrator mode. Make sure it says that, okay? Across the top, left-hand side. All right, now we've got it in the right mode. We're going to go to File, New, and then Website. Shift-Alt-10 as a key combination as before. And from here, make sure again you select ASP.NET Empty Website. And down below for the web location, switch that over so it says HTTP, Hypertext Transfer Protocol. And then click on Browse. And assuming now again you are logged in under administrator mode, IIS should show you the sites available. So just choose the one that is relevant. I'm going to go here with Dashboard. And then just click Open. So whatever files we make will go directly into that location and everything will be nicely and easily synchronized. And then click OK. Give this a second here. All right, on the right side in the Solution Explorer, once you've got everything loaded, you should have these basic files, packages.config and web.config. So as before, the next stage is to right-click here and then go over to Add. And then let's see, give it a second, go over to Web Form. All right, this time I'm just going to call it Main, so it's a little more meaningful. We'll have just one page with multiple elements that we can move around on the page. And then click OK. All right, so make sure you get to this point where you have this basic page skeleton. I'm going to enlarge the view here so everything is clear, big, and easy to see. And I'm going to leave it here. I'm going to continue in the next lesson.